Welcome back to Dead Good Book Reviews. I'm Judith and you're watching another video here on the channel. I'm sure it's in the title, I'm sure it's in the thumbnail. We're talking about cozy reads at the moment. I'm starting this, what I think will be quite a long project. It is the 12th of December as I'm filming this. It's absolutely freezing, there's snow on the ground. What better time than now to begin this video wherein I want to curate the ultimate cozy reading experience. And by that I very much specifically mean cozy, speculative fiction reading experience, because you know me, that's what I'm about. So yes, I have selected a number of cozy reads to read over the next few weeks. I will be reading them, and I might throw in some other cozy additions, such as beverages, and we're going to talk about cozy things. Are you excited? I know I am. The coziest beast wishes to come say hello. Hello, cozy beast. You can come here, but you can't go in near the microphone, okay? That's near the microphone. That's what we call being near the microphone. There we go. If you can hear dog breathing, that's what it is. I have a few criteria that I'm working through. The first of which, the one I've already completed, was a recommendation from a friend, and my darling, dearest, wonderfulest friend Asha, who I will link below, as will all the stuff from this video probably be linked. It might be a bit of a mammoth one, I'm sorry. Asha, a very long time ago, recommended that I read Coffee, Milk and Spider Silk, which looks a little bit like this. And in her words, I'm probably paraphrasing, it came out just before Legends and Lattes, and therefore it kind of got swept away, but this is another book of kind of character from a D&D game decides to open a coffee shop in this sort of fantasy world, and it's really, really enjoyable. It's only about 58 pages, I think, on certainly my Kindle version was, and it's a really lovely little short story about what are they called? Dryder? Is that the giant spider people? So if you don't love spiders, this might not be for you, but that's fine. Who wants to open a coffee shop. She retires from being one of the city guard and she opens a coffee shop, and it's just really wholesome and nice and inclusive and lovely and just everything that Legends and Lattes was, but like condensed down. So if you don't have time to read all of Legends and Lattes, which don't worry, will be coming up in this video, then I would highly recommend it. I had a really good time, and in case you're wondering, I'm drinking chai with this, which I'm very much enjoying. I bought some over the weekend. I'm having a great time. It's absolutely freezing here, so in terms of the outfit, I'm actually just wearing 3 jumpers and a jumpsuit and 2 pairs of fuzzy socks. Oh, it's very cold, but the beverages are very pleasant, the books are good. I would rate this reading experience, so let's combine the tea, the jumpers, the overall experience, I would rate it like a 4 out of 5 on the coziness scale. That's where I'm at right now. Let's give ourselves room to grow. That's all from me this week. I'll see you next week with my next cozy read. Cozy fantasy, that's what we're talking about. Cozy things. Hi, hello. It is the 22nd of December right now when I'm filming this. So happy holidays from the past, I guess. I have been having a bit of a time. It's been a little bit of a burnout season here in the Dead Good Book Reviews household. I am very, very tired. So what a wonderful time to have this project. I'm not particularly cozy today because I have, I'm going to say maybe 8 more videos to film today, so excuse the lack of coziness in this exact moment. I'm drinking coffee from an enormous mug because, as I've said previously, some days are big mug, small brain days, and some days are big brain, small mug days, and this is not one of those days. Anyway, I did, however, get cozy yesterday morning. I was in my bed having a lovely time, wearing an Oodie, not sponsored, but I do own one and it is delightfully warm, and I read The Tea Dragon Society. This is a graphic novel, comic, I think it might originally have been a webcomic, but I'm not 100% sure. And it's very lovely. I think what I did for this prompt for myself, prompt that I created, was I wanted to read something that had been recommended a time when I had asked for cozy fantasy recommendations. And one of you kind viewers suggested reading this, and I'm so glad you did, because this was exactly what I needed. It is really gentle, lovely, low threat, at least in these early ones, inclusive fantasy about tea dragons, little dragons that grow tea on their spines and their antlers, and it is so wholesome and lovely, and the art is absolutely beautiful, and I read it in one sitting and I just had a lovely time. And yes, I will be reading the other books in the series. I would say for me it's not the kind of thing that I need to own. I thought I might, if I loved it, absolutely go and buy a physical copy. I think that I'm quite happy reading it online. It was a nice experience that way. But I do really want to read the other ones because I think they are very wholesome and nice, and I would like to know what happens, and also encounter more tea dragons. Like, I love tea, I love dragons, it's great. The tea that I was drinking at the time was chocolate digestive tea, which is amazing and delicious and lovely, and I had the best time drinking it, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, in terms of creating a cozy experience, would I rate it higher or lower than reading Coffee, Milk and Spider Silk? I think they were very different reading experiences, it's hard to compare them. I will say I hadn't been anticipating how much my brain would really enjoy enjoy just looking at some pictures for a while. So maybe if you're experiencing that level of burnout and that's why you need cozy reads, that would be good to explore a different format perhaps. Well, next in the lineup is a reread of Legends and Lattes, because what is cozy fantasy if I can't reread Legends and Lattes? Honestly, what would be the point of doing this project? So I shall speak to you when I've read it. Hello again from January. It is Thursday the 5th of January today, and I'm filming another little cozy reading segment. So I kind of fell off the cozy reading wagon for a little bit, or was reading different cozy things for a little while. I'm aware the camera's crooked, don't worry about it. And I was going to try and spin it in a way where it was like, oh, sometimes being cozy is allowing yourself to not read anything, which is true. I didn't read anything for most of the week at the end of the year. However, since then, I have actually picked myself back up, and not only have I read this week's cozy fantasy reading book, but I also read last week's cozy fantasy reading book and a bonus cozy fantasy reading book. So, what is the ultimate cozy experience? It's letting yourself rest and rejuvenate so that you may be cozy in the future, is what I've learned. But let's go. Last week's book was Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. I had a wonderful time reading this. I ran myself a bath. I used an expensive bath bomb because I didn't need to save it for something special, and I read this all in one sitting, and I just had a lovely time with it. This is a story of an orc who decides to give up being a barbarian in a kind of D&D sort of fashion and instead start a coffee shop. It is sapphic, it is beautiful, it is wonderful. I'm sure you've probably heard about this. I know some people really don't like this. Some people it is not their cup of tea. It is my cup of tea. In fact, it's my cup of coffee. I've probably made that joke before, and I really, really enjoyed it. I just had the best time. Would definitely recommend if you're looking for a cozy, low stakes kind of time. This week's book was Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. My prompt for this was just that I wanted to reread one of the Regency Fairy Tales books, and I thought I would let myself pick whichever one I wanted, which is silly of me because obviously I'm going to pick the first one in the series and then want to read the second one and the third one. That's how that worked out, but I haven't read the second and third one yet because I'm too busy. But I did read the first one, and it's just really lovely. In this we have a girl who, her mother basically promises her to a fairy. The fairy only gets half of her, thus the daughter, Dora, our main character, only has half a soul, and it's a Regency romance involving a lot of magic and a lot of justice as a theme, I suppose. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was just wonderful, really easy to read, but not like super duper simple, so it still felt like challenging enough. I just had a wonderful time. I don't think it was a particularly cozy reading experience in the actual ambiance because I read it at my desk on my phone, but that's nice in some ways. I can probably spin that some way in the future. My bonus cozy fantasy read was actually the Mysteries of Thorn Manor, which I will put... Can I get like enough to have 2 covers in frame? Sorcery of Thorns. Companion novella, Mysteries of Thorn Manor. I thought this was a great book. It's exactly what I wanted in terms of, it was basically written as an extended epilogue to Sorcery of Thorns. So it's like a little, again, medium stakes, I would say. There is danger, but you're fairly sure as a reader that nothing really that bad is going to happen. Mystery with a hefty dose of romance and 2 people who really want to kiss each other, not necessarily getting to kiss each other and then getting to kiss each other. It's a great time. Again, not a particularly cozy reading experience, as again, I did read it at my desk. But we'll work on curating coziness next week. Next week I am rereading... Is it not behind me anymore? Where's it gone? Oh no! Found it. Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. If I don't get to it this week, secret sneaky preview for you. I have a reread planned in for the end of the year, so I might read this twice this year. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it. And that's my cozy fantasy catch-up. Next, Judith to talk. Go. Hi, welcome to the end of the project. It is the 16th of January when I'm filming this. This video is going up in a few weeks. This has been such a wonderful use of my time. I can't actually remember when I started this project, and I've deleted my last year's spreadsheet now, so I can't check. But you'll know because you're watching the video. We should obviously be talking about the fact that I read The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, but you know what? I didn't read it. I didn't reread it. Things got very busy at the start of this year, and I decided that the true cozy experience is prioritising the things you need to prioritise and not worrying too much about all the rest of the stuff. So this is being read this year. It's being read as part of a past favourite books project towards the end of 2023. So I'm putting it quietly back on the shelf for now, to come back to it later. What are my conclusions on this project, I suppose? I think in terms of creating the ultimate cozy reading experience, my recommendations are a blanket. If you can get an electric blanket, we got one for Christmas, and oh boy, I've never been cozier. I've never ever been cozier. A cup of tea. I highly recommend exploring interesting teas, such as this is chocolate digestive tea. I can't remember if I've done that already in this video, but it's really hitting the spot. And ultimately reading the things that you want to read. And that's one of the interesting things that came up while I was kind of ruminating on this and filming this and setting up the TBR for this and such, is that comforting and cozy reads mean such different things to different people. I was talking to a friend recently who read Legends and Lattes and went, actually, you know what? this is too low stakes for me. I can't handle this level of low stakes fantasy, and that's absolutely fine. But that meant that it wasn't a comforting read because it was frustrating for them, and I find that so interesting. In a recent Space Sirens chat that we were having, we were talking about how for some people a not necessarily cozy time, but something of a my brain just needs this right now might be a book about serial killers. I think for me a cozy read is one where either the stakes are very low and that's set out from the beginning, or it's a book where it's very clear that things are going to end well because of the genre of the book. For example, Regency fairy tales, even if things go terribly wrong for the characters, it's a romance. I know it's going to be all right by the end. And for me, I think it's something about that expectation, that knowledge of where things are going. And that's, I think, for me, why rereads are comfort reads to me, because I always know what's going to happen, as much as I can remember what's going to happen. We all know what my memory's like. I'm going to take a moment and while I do the outro, I'm going to flag up some other cozy recommendations that I want to bring up, because there's so many that I didn't talk about. I didn't really have any sci-fi in this list, and there's definitely some. Editing Judith's going to be putting the covers in, and you can enjoy it while I just talk through these last little bits that I have to talk about. What are some of your cozy read recommendations? Cozy, comfort, whatever that word means to you. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. While you're down there commenting, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. It makes me feel loved and appreciated. You can also follow me on social media if you're that way inclined. You can come hang out on Discord where we have chill chats about books. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all the ghosts who haunt me over on Patreon. They support the channel and in return get early access to videos, bonus content and live streams. If you would like to join their number, that's linked below as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video has turned into something coherent. I at this point can't even remember if I filmed an intro for it. That's all from me, and I will see you in the next one. There's gonna be some bloopers now. Welcome back to Dead Good Book Views and to a new video here on the channel. This is one of slightly wonky. What better time than what? But let's go in vague order. I read This is going to be read this year. It's being read as